February 26, Reuters, Russian resistance lawmaker Alexei Navalny was near being liberated in a detainee trade at the hour of his passing. However, President Vladimir Putin couldn't endure the prospect of him being delivered and had him killed, a nearby partner said on Monday. Navalny, 47, passed on in a cold punitive state on February 16. The Kremlin, which projects Navalny and his allies as U.S.-supported radicals, has denied state contribution in his demise. Navalny's passing authentication said he passed on from regular causes, as per allies. There was no prompt remark from the Kremlin and Navalny partner Maria Pevchikh, who is based external Russia, didn't present narrative proof for her affirmation. Talking on YouTube, Pevchikh expressed discusses trading Navalny and two anonymous U.S. nationals for Vadim Krasikov, a Russian FSB Security Administration hitman in prison in Germany, were in their last stages at the hour of his demise. Alexei Navalny could be sitting in this seat at the present time, right today. That is not an interesting expression, it could and ought to have occurred, said Pevchikh, who seats the leading group of Navalny's enemy of debasement establishment. Navalny ought to have been out in the following couple of days since we got a choice about his trade. Toward the beginning of February, Putin was proposed to trade the executioner, FSB official Vadim Krasikov, who's spending time in jail for a homicide in Berlin, for two American residents and Alexei Navalny. Krasikov was imprisoned for life in Germany in the wake of being sentenced for killing a banished Chechen Georgian dissenter in Berlin in 2019. Putin motioned in a meeting with U.S. writer Exhaust Carlson this month that he needed to get Krasikov, whom he cast as a nationalist, back. A German government representative declined to remark on Monday. Pevchikh, who has been assigned unfamiliar specialist by Russia where the specialists blame her for contribution in a fanatic association, said she had gotten affirmation that exchanges for the trade were in their last stages on the night of February 15. Navalny, she claimed, had been killed a day after the fact since Putin couldn't endure the possibility of him being free. She didn't make sense of why Putin had not just wouldn't trade Navalny assuming he was against such a trade. She said that finance manager Roman Abramovich had been the one to drift the plan to Putin of trading Navalny. There was no quick remark from Abramovich. Pevchikh didn't name the two U.S. nationals purportedly in dispute to be traded alongside Navalny. Be that as it may, the U.S. has said returning Evan Gershkovich, a correspondent for the Money Road Diary, and Paul Whelan, a previous U.S. is attempting. Marine. Russia blames the two individuals for secret activities, something they deny. Navalny concurred. A Russian source with information on the conversations told Reuters independently that the detainee trade had been intended to happen in February and that both Navalny and his significant other had consented to it. The source additionally said Abramovich had been engaged with the discussions. At first, the arrangement visualized a trade just including Gershkovich, and Abramovich had talked about it with Putin. The main individual Putin was prepared to trade him for was Krasikov. However, the Germans were completely against it, since it was an American issue. At the point when Navalny showed up inside this arrangement, the Germans at last concurred, the source said. Everything was at last affirmed when German Chancellor Olaf Scholz went to the States. He held White House chats on February 9. The subtleties of when and where this would happen were being talked about. Putin, who still can't seem to remark on Navalny's demise, said for this present month that discussions among Russian and U.S. inside organizations were going on connected with Gershkovich, however made no notice of Navalny, whose name he doesn't typically specify openly. Talking prior on Monday, the Kremlin had considered charges that Russian specialists have constrained the mother of Navalny to attempt to inspire her to consent to a confidential burial service crazy, saying Putin had not been engaged with choices on Navalny's body. The Kremlin doesn't have anything to do with this, so the Kremlin can't apply pressure. This is one more crazy articulation by these Navalny allies, Kremlin representative Dmitry Peskov said. The late resistance legislator's body was given over to his mom in the icy city of Soledar on Saturday. The game plans for his entombment, expected to occur in Moscow, presently can't seem to be reported. Navalny's representative said on Monday that his group was searching for a setting where a public goodbye service could happen before the current week's over. Revealing by Philippe Lebedev and Andrew Osborne, composing by Andrew Osborne, altering by Imprint Trevelyan and Angus Maxwan.